There are different kinds of shit,
Aren't there?
aren't there?
Classic line. Perfect.
Quote me on that. What are the worst places? There are definitely some pretty shit places out there.
I have to say, genuinely, and I'm not just saying this because we're here, Berlin's my favourite European capital. So much to do. People are really nice. It's very interesting. It's got edginess to it, as well as like classical stuff.
Techno, mate.
It's got techno.
There's some pretty like rubbish places in the middle of like bumfuck nowhere America. Actually, even shit places are like pretty exciting, unless it's. I guess there's some like different kinds of shit, isn't there?
And on that note,
On that note, there are different kinds of shit,
aren't there?
aren't there?
Classic line. Perfect.
Quote me on that. You know who I think?
Twitter.
You don't like it?
Twitter. Never got it.
You know what I think is amazing is Kanye West. A few bands and musicians coming out of opinions, some of them slagging off. He's the greatest rock star of our generation. And I never really, like, I guess I know some of the famous songs, but I only recently was like, whoa, this guy is the real deal.
Like, I fucking love the first two records, and then he slightly lost me for a while. And then I was like, wow, he's gone mental. And then, this is my process, this is my arc. And now I'm like, he's a fucking genius. He's a genius.
Absolute genius.
We went and saw him in London last week at Coco, like 1,500 people, really small. Yeah, it was amazing.
Incredible.
And like there were other people on stage, some grime grime MCs from London and stuff like this. And then he comes on and the whole game changes. Like he's just far and above everyone else. He's a genius.
He's a rock star. Like, he
does
says
what he
he's
wants.
the biggest rock star. Not. He is the biggest rock star. He does what he wants. That is what it is to be a rock star. He's doing it. He is our generation's Elvis. He's incredible.
Not a career move.
Definitely not a career move. I mean,
Might be the end of our career moves.
yeah. It's like these are like our instruments that our first instruments. You know, like Marcus is a drummer first and foremost, and you know, Ted and I and guitarists and we were in rock bands. We never thought of ourselves that much as a folk band. We just did that, and we did that for those records, and that's why we got James Ford and Aaron Dessner involved. Those two are sort of experts in those fields of like sounds, like guitars and digital sounds and synths and all that kind of stuff. And like, I guess from the outside world, it looks like quite drastic, but inwardly, I think it's pretty. I don't think we surprised ourselves,
no,
particularly.
Been wondering for days how you felt me slip your mind.
We never referred to ourselves as a folk band. We always felt like a rock band playing instruments that are more widely associated with folk music. But like, we always plugged in, we always turned it up, and we always played hard, which are kind of all the things that you do in rock and roll.
And you don't do that in folk. In folk, you just head down and pick stuff.
So like, we've always performed as a rock band, but with like more folky instruments. But like, even the banjo goes through amplifiers and there's feedbacks and, you know, like massive, you know, sounding all like really overdriven and really distorted sounding or whatever. So I think, you know, all this talk of the banjo is mostly because of the singles and some of the videos, and it's very prominent and very identifiable. But like our, you know, there's songs in our set that sound like Dust Bowl Dance or Thistle and Weeds, Below My Feet. They all kind of sound much more in keeping with this album that we're putting out now, rather than the singles. But that's the thing with singles, you just give a snapshot to try and sell people something, you know. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's frustrating when three of you love something and one doesn't. You're like, fuck democracy, this is a nightmare. But eventually it leads to, I think, longevity in a band, where if everyone feels like they have a voice and it's equal, then you're able to move forward. And like I said, you're able to submit to each other's leadership. And that's trust, you know, and that grows with time, I think. I hope that it means that it stands us in good stead to be a band for a long time, because I want to be in this band for a long time. And I think we're in a better position now to do that than we ever have been. Unless he disagrees.
No comment. To be discussed.
Ich war auf einer Party in Zwickau. Als ich wieder daheim war, habe ich gebrochen.
There's a lot of like
hipster kids who become farmers now. Like,